So a combined element of postural awareness and functional joint mobility will fast track your postural alignment goal, plus freedom from your unused joint. Watch closely as my posture changed from my own inefficient slouching position to a more relaxed and effective alignment. My ability to shift from one position to another is a result of a combined element of positional awareness or position sense, joint mobility, and postural stability. How do I know if I am making progress or doing it correctly? Progression will be easier to track if you have a chronic muscle pain or discomfort. Your complaint will gradually improve by your ability to have better muscle control. Initially, also the ability to distinguish between a relaxed muscle or muscles and a tense or a tight muscles. Depending on your current level of postural health and biomechanics experience, this will dictate how accurate you are with the basic postural awareness exercise that I am describing here. Due to our technological advancement, lifestyle, bad habits and poor posture is hard habit to break, that it is highly suggested that you hire a specialist. A specialist will be able to give you a full feedback and specific coaching, as well as how to manage your posture for your health purposes. Just to remind you that this is part 2 of the topic about posture, a continuation of the 3 elements that you need to improve your posture. Now back to our number 2 element, functional joint mobility. Functional joint mobility. Consider optimizing the postural training process by combining mobility to your training. There are common cases that you know what to do. Like you know how to lengthen your body based on your Pilates class or a private coaching from Alexander Technique teacher. Alexander Technique is a postural awareness training, by the way. But every time you remind yourself about standing straight, you always seems to feel awkward and tight. It feels unnatural and you're not comfortable. Sometimes, no matter what your postural coach tells you, it feels like your body just brings you back to its original poor posture. This is common complaint about being instructed to sit straight, but you prefer or your body prefer not to. You still feels being pulled to your preferred position, but a poor postural habits. So, our second solution to that is you need to investigate and assess your current joint mobility, or the way to know how flexible you are functionally. Preferably, look for an AIS practitioner. Even though you have all the knowledge of postural awareness, it wouldn't work if your current joint mobility is poorly below your ideal range of motion. And when we say below or poor, it means through the years you had changed and formed a habit due to the different environmental influences. And of course, the pull of gravity to our aging body. Whatever postural alignment you currently have is not your specific body frame makeup. Your body's flexibility has gone downward spiral. So the functional joint mobility step objectives is to either maintain, not to get worse, or restore the external effect of both aging and those inevitable environmental influences to our lifestyle. Again, the top cause of joint mobility limitation is prolonged sitting. I already explained to you why it can change your overall posture previously. As you spend more hours sitting uninterrupted, it becomes like an endurance marathon training, but without the large muscle moving constantly. It is more a static endurance training, but the net resulting effect is a poor joint mobility. Since hours spent is limited to sitting, then physical mobility regress its natural function. You don't use it, you lose it. Sounds familiar? Others with previous serious history of musculoskeletal injury, with or without proper rehabilitation, Past injury can cause to overcompensate. Pain during injury causes the body to adjust and avoid the discomfort. Doing so sounds logical and safe. But the adjustment phase always outruns the healing and recovery phase. Even though the injury had been better and recover had already took place, physical adjustment in reverse still persists and creating new movement pattern and poor habits. As you recover from your injury, a residual injury behavior is left that can produce another problem which can be considered complication. The resulting physical compensation of your body usually creates unevenness of your body frame. Since our body works as a whole or works in pair, the uneven pulling of each muscle creates imbalanced forces. Aging and gravity makes the situation worse. In the end, your body will be lopsided and out of alignment. At this step, depending on how much serious is your mobility limitation, you can start by stretching muscle or group of muscles that is below the ideal range of motion. Length of the hip flexor should be the first to check for balance, length, and ideal range of motion. Specifically, the length of the psoas major muscle. Anatomically, the stretch will be felt from the top of the kneecap up to the whole length of the front thigh. The psoas major crosses the hip joint, then to the groin up to the utmost pass behind the belly button. Most stretch will be felt along this area, but the most important is where the psoas is attached. It is considered a deep and important muscle that influences the position of the lower back spinal curve. The lower back spine is a large lowest base backbone or vertebrae of your body. The upper spine position is dependent on this base support for effective stability and efficient alignment. The psoas muscle is attached to the front of this lumbar vertebrae. So it makes sense that a contraction or shortening of the psoas muscle can move this 5 lumbar vertebrae forward. Moving this base area will obviously affect whatever connected above it. Simply, the resulting position of your upper trunk is a slouching posture. Nevertheless, not everybody knows that a forward head and a rounded shoulder stretching without fixing the position of your spine is absolutely useless. Or you can say temporary relief only. It might feel great to stretch your neck and shoulder, but the change of postural alignment will only happen if you change what is happening to your spine or your center. And that center is where your psoas major muscle is attached or located. Or we can consider the center of gravity, somewhere behind your belly button. To check your psoas major conveniently and easy is by being able to reach and grab your ankle or foot behind you comfortably. If you can do this repeatedly on both sides without stumbling and losing your balance, then it is within the ideal length. So an ideal length of your psoas muscle will keep the neutral curve of your lower back, making the whole spine in better alignment with your body one on top of the other. You will find that it is easier to adapt to your postural awareness training since you are not locked in from an unnatural pull of the psoas muscle. So a combined element of postural awareness and functional joint mobility will fast track your postural alignment goal, plus freedom from your unused joint. Any psoas muscle stretch is your weapon of choice. Standing hip flexor stretch is the most convenient and practical, but easy for you to cheat. It is not specific to psoas muscle stretch, but it is close to primal movement that should feel easy and natural to perform. Make sure you don't arch your lower back as you stretch. Arching your back does not make this stretch effective. Engage your abs and keep your body upright as possible. A slight bend of the standing leg will keep pressure off your lower back. For most people, this is a lost movement. Take it easy by just learning how to do the motion. Only start focusing more on stretching when you are able to grab hold of your foot behind you without difficulty. Use your free hand to hold on a stable support that will keep you from bending forward like a wall for this example. Your objective here is to get your physical system to recognize this movement. Lengthening purpose can wait as your second objective, which is to restore and increase the length of your hip flexors. Until then, you don't need to balance on your single leg. When you are ready to stretch, start the stretch by pulling it further till you reach your tolerable end range. You should feel a tolerable slight irritation along your front thigh. Hold still the stretch length for 2 seconds. Gently release the stretch and bring your foot down to rest and bring the circulation back. Repeat the process for 4 to 6 reps only. The stretch sensation should be challenging enough that you can smile and relax your neck. Nothing should be felt directly to your bending knee. All stretch should be above your kneecap. This is the most basic, most convenient hip flexor stretch. Properly and strictly done, this will be useful to kickstart your goal to improve your posture. Low repetition of 4 to 6 reps is recommended in order not to overexert the muscle. Keeping the effort submaximal will keep muscle protective reflex less sensitive. Then target muscle will be more accommodating to that stretching force applied. Lastly, stability. Stability might confuse you with strength training. In my integrative lifestyle program, stability is different from strength. Stability is purely geared towards control of movement, which includes the ability to have coordination and physical balance. So, are you in control with your body, or your body is in control with you? These are some of the questions that you should ask yourself. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below and click on the bell and turn on your notifications. Thank you for listening. This is Jace Lee. I am an active, isolated stretch practitioner.